Welcome guys back to the shed. Uh, Today I have been going through my log pile outside and came upon this big piece that sheared off the side of a tree. So I've just I've got a faceplate ring on this and I've got my tailstock up with a revolving center and I've checked everything's nice and tight, and you don't want this piece coming off and hitting you because it will do some damage. So I'm just going to change cameras here and let you see where we are. So this is the piece, guys. Now it's a bit rough and ratty inside. That's just the way it came off the tree where it sheared off. So I haven't done anything bar cut a couple of big pointy bits to let it revolve in the lathe. There was one or two pieces that was catching the bedways, so I cut that off, and it is a bit of soft and pulky in places like so that. So I don't know how it's going to do, but we'll soon find out, you know. And you can see it's sitting at 317 revolutions. So, and there's very little wobble. I tried to get it up to 400, but there's quite a bit of vibration on it, so I just put it back down. Now we look. Right. Need to just tidy that up for a spigot. So get this skew. See if I can clean this up a bit. Still need to bring it down a bit yet to get that to be round enough. Yeah, not far off it, like, but That's going about 825. I think I want the base to come in about an inch in from there to give me enough wing on the sides. That's my lowest spot there. I'll just show you in the camera what I'm talking about. So there's the void. So there's where I'm sitting on my wing coming up over. There's plenty of wood right round this, so there's going to be quite a bit to take away to get it to form down. So it may take the natural shape of this piece the way it's cut. So I'm quite happy with that. So I'll take another couple of cuts and try and get a pattern clean cut. Stop and have a look. Yeah, that happy with that. Let's close that turret down a wee bit. There's a wee bit here, but I think I'm going to be taking this top bit down. So I just want to flatten the bottom of that while I'm here, and then we'll turn it around. I'm going to use a smaller bow gouge for this, and we just want to take that straight across. I think that's as far as I want to go with that. Just have a look at that now. You can see that it's a lot better, more uniform, and I can get these shavings out of well. You can see that it's nice and flat, not too much tear out. As you can see, it's soaking. It absolutely is soaking. So we're going to take that off and turn it around. We'll just move this out of the way. It seems to just spin off the heads. And then you're left with a friggin' big screw in your piece, which we have here. So just want to revolve that by hand. Right, that'll be there. Now this is wet, so tighten your chuck and make sure it's nice and tight. And after a wee while, stop the lathe and check on again, because when you're tightening the jaws, you're compressing the timber, and through movement and water dispersion out of the wood as it turns, this will get loose, and the next thing if you're not watching it, you'll end up wearing it. So until you're safe enough, and always bring your tail center or tail stock up and engage it. So I need to mark where that pencil or that screw is. So it's just there. I'm just marking it with a pencil so that I can see it and stay away from it until I get down the side of it. And I'm able to dig it out. And that's not too bad. I just got to put a fresh edge on that, nice and clean. Right, there's where the screw is. There, you can see the pencil line beside it. So we need to, if we go any, well, I'll bring this back a wee bit so it can't go off and hit it. You need to move the tool rest to hit it, so that's a good indicator marker. So we'll start that back up and we'll increase the speed. And just keeping it at about 825 for now. We'll get some of this rough stuff off the bark. I want to get this screw out before we go any further. Then we'll remount it and finish it. So just move this out of the way a wee second to get a swing on that to get cut. Oh, it's warm. You can see the difference a sharp bull gouge makes. I'm just going to cut this at an angle, and hopefully I can take away that wee void that's left on the rim. Let's see what that's like. Still that wee bit there. I still think I can get it out of it, you know. Nice piece of timber, so I want to try and remove that. Oh, it's almost away. I'm more than happy with that. Just give it an RV touch on the rim. Sometimes you can get away with things if you round things over. If you were leaving that as a flat top, a nice crisp edges, you wouldn't have been able to take that wee void out. See what that's like. That should be it all away now. Yep. No, just a wee bit. See what that's like. Nice clean end, nice clean end, lovely and clean, very little tear out. It's still quite heavy here. I can take a wee bit more timber out of that. I want to more or less leave it sort of uniform in thickness for it to dry out. Just be careful not to take too much timber out of it, because you need to allow for it moving when it dries, because it will. That's not too bad. I think I'll leave it at that. Just bring the tail stack up again to mark our center hole. And then we have both ends now marked for returning it. If you don't do that, you would have no way of telling where center was. Even though you have a spigot, you can't really rely on the spigot, as you've seen earlier, because it was off. So we have a nice bowl out of that bit of a tree that was sheared off in the storm. I think it is spalted beech. It's queer and thick still good weight in it, so quite a bit of water in it. So with a spigot on both sides, and the true center is marked with a hole both sides. So even if your spigot does move, you can always put it in the chuck and bring your tail center or tail stock up and engage your center hole. And if it means moving that off, move it off, and then you can recut this tannin that's straight, and then reverse it, and then true it up from the other side. Now that's pretty good, clean cut. It's not too much tear out. There's a wee bit there, but I think it's because the wood's wet and it's not getting a nice cut on it. But quite happy for what it was. I didn't think I would get anything decent out of it. Just run the tape over that now. It's just about 10.5 inches. It's big enough bowl, and it's roughly about 2.25 inches deep thickness. So it's not a bad size of a bowl, and I need to clear all these shavings because they're wet and they're all over my tools. And one thing about turning wet wood, where are we? We're talking in. Just move it back to front camera. If you're working with wet wood, you need to do as much as you can to the piece on your first visit. If you're going for a thin piece, like a wee small bowl, you're going to turn it really thin to pierce it and decorate it. You need to finish that as you go, and finish it, because you'll not get back to it. Once you take that off a lathe, it'll just it'll move all over the place. This here, I'm going to leave it sitting in the shed now for a couple of weeks and see how it goes. And just look at it every other day to see how it's going. I had an ore bowl I left. It's sitting over there, I think. Yeah, this is another bowl I rough cut and rough turned, and the date is on it, 21st of the 10th, 21. So before Christmas, that was soaking wet, and you can see it's quite uniform still in its shape. It's right and deep. Again, I don't know what the timber was, because it was a blowdown and I just seen it lying by the road, so I stopped and picked a couple of bits up. But that's been sitting there from the 21st of the 10th, and it seems quite dry, and that's waiting to be finished. So that's an hour one. So if you do work with wet timber, you can rough it down to a size and then put it away for a wee while and let it dry out. The more you can take off it, the better, because it'll help it dry. If you leave it right and thick and heavy, it'll take longer, you know. Uh, Working with wet timber too on your lathe, don't be tempted to walk away and close the door behind you, because you see the next come out your lathe, it'll be rusted, all the damp timber on it. So before you leave and go in for the night, clean your all the shavings off the lathe and off your tool rack and any tools that the shavings are on. Clean it away, because it'll rust your tools, and give it a wee coat of wax on the bedways, just to make sure you don't. So no more turning the night for me. I'll just turn all my things off. I think my battery's going flat on my headset anyway, so it needs charged. So that was our project for the day, and it's spalted beech. I'm near sure of it. Now, well, look at it. It's a nice piece of timber, and when I get that finished, it'll be a stunning piece. So, well, as I say, it's soaking. When did I go and get that? I'm trying to remember. It was in the end of January that blew down. When those bad storms were blowing the gale here in Northern Ireland, this big lemon came off. That was the side of the limb. It was a big shower, just came off the side, and then there was a big branch that came off. Now these branches are about 10 inches in diameter, so it's a big branch. The other thing you can do is you can cut them in quarters after you get them down to size, so you could have two halves, and you can make two bowls in them. The same thing applies. You need to seal the ends of them, or you can do what I've just done there with that bowl. You can rough turn it down to a certain size and stick it in a bag and stick it away in the shade for a lot of weeks, and just keep an eye on it. Put a date on it when you rough turned it, and the next time you take it out and look at it, put the date down again and see what progress it's made. If it helps if you have a moisture meter. I don't have one. I'm giving you all this advice, and I don't have one myself, but I'm going to get one. So we'll turn that maybe tomorrow and finish that piece off. That was the second cut, 21st of the 10th. So that was the second cut. So it's way. It could have been September when I rough turned that. If that was the second cut, because I would have left that sitting. I think it was I had that sitting for a good while. You know it. So thanks very much for coming over and watching. And if you like, please subscribe to my channel and give me a wee thumbs up. It all helps to know you're appreciated out there and people are watching your videos, and sometimes they can help you and sometimes they don't help you, but I'm not a professional and I don't claim to be. This is my hobby. I'm turning about 9 years, and love every minute of it. And you can see I bought a t-shirt from Chestnut Products, and when they're over the pandemic, you call it, over the lockdown, when they were doing their virtual recordings, demos. Done t-shirts or they were doing, so I got one. You know. But anyway, guys, I'm rambling on a bit again, so I must say cheerio, and I will see you. Well, I'll probably see you tomorrow again on the video side of it, but it probably won't be tomorrow. It'll probably be 2 days' time before I get round to editing this bowl, and I'll go and tonight I'll edit that bowl and stick that up, and it's something you can ponder over and see how I came to get that form made and the process I went through. So that's all from me today, and thanks very much for watching. I really appreciate your time and spending a bit of time and watching the videos. Thanks very much. Bye.